Okay, good evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome to the call. We're going to get started in about 1 minute. Good to see you all here. And if you can hear me, please put the letter Y in the question box. That would be good. Then I'll know you can hear me. Laurel is here with me also.
Good
And
evening.
so we'll be getting started in about 1 minute. And so hopefully you can hear very well as being able to see my screen. So if you are looking at my screen, you should be able to see that there's a presentation slide there. It says leveraging your expertise. And other than that, if you have any questions as we go along, please feel free to write those questions into the question box, or you can type them into the chat. Either Laura or myself will see them, and we are happy to answer them. Okay, thanks, Ann. Appreciate that. So, without further ado, it's about 7, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And so tonight, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit about the Extreme Business Makeover workshops. And basically, this is going to be a series of workshops, and we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis, so we're not going anywhere. But I do want to kind of introduce what they're going to be about and what we're going to be covering. And what we're going to be doing tonight is almost like an overview of what these workshops are going to be. And we'll do a little introduction, let you get to know us a little bit. And we're going to be talking about what leverage is, right? So what do we mean by leverage? Why you must leverage your expertise, regardless of what you're doing, regardless of what your business is, you really do have to always be leveraging your expertise. And even more so now that more and more of business is moving to information and digital. And a question that we often get is, can you really leverage your expertise if you have an existing business? And we're going to answer that. Can you leverage your expertise if you don't have a business? So, maybe you're a coach or a consultant and you don't necessarily have a brick and mortar or an existing service or business. Can you leverage your expertise? We're going to answer that. And then we're going to answer the question is why your particular expertise matters and it really is needed. Because one of the things that I find, and Laurel and we have talked about this a lot, is that people really kind of feel like, well, I really don't have anything that's worth sharing. We're gonna really kind of talk about that a little bit here tonight. And the obvious question is what you can do to make your leverage worth your time, right? So if you put the time into doing some of the things we'll be talking about here tonight, you want to make sure that that effort's going to be worth your time. If you're going to tell people that you've got this expertise or you've got this passion, you've got this obsession, you've got this experience, and you want to share it with people, you want to make sure that when you do that, it's going to be worth your time to do that. We all have a finite amount of time that we have to share with people. We all have a finite amount of energy that we have. And so we want to be able to do this in a way that's going to be of benefit to us, benefit to our families, and so that it really does become something that we look to and we look to with anticipation. So tell you a little bit about us. Um, uh, Basically, what we do, we create information marketing video tutorials. So, some of the things that you see on YouTube that are instructional in nature, you might see a video tutorial showing you, let's say, how to upload a YouTube video, whatever the case is. We've been doing that since 2013. And these videos are used by online business owners, business opportunity seekers, consultants, and coaches. I mean, they use this content as if it were their own, and so we give it to them almost as if it was unbranded. They then use it, and then they use it to educate their customers and their clients. We currently sell this content. It's called private label rights content at another brand called the PLR Show, and we'll talk about that as the weeks go forward. And You can kind of think of us as wholesalers, right? So we will, let's say, wholesale the course to other people who will sell those courses however they sell them at retail, right? And so basically what we do with our content is we sell to other sellers. So we're not very, I'd say we're not necessarily all that well known, mainly because our customer is the customer that's going out to really be well known, so to speak. So if you want to think about this, we've been actually selling to sellers, right? So just about everything that you can learn about online marketing and online selling, if you can imagine trying to sell to people who are already sellers, it's a little bit intense, right? So if you can think of what it's like to learn online marketing, amp that up about 10 times, and that's really what we do. And so we're going to be doing some of that unlicensed content, or we're going to be selling some of that same instruction at harperacademy.com, as we go forward. Now, we're also going to be doing, and we'll talk about this here at the end, a small business marketing call on Tuesday nights at gainmindshare.com. So now, if you have an existing business and you want to understand some of those foundational, fundamental principles that never change, that you can implement, that will really matter in your business, even beyond things like social media, even beyond things like, should I be doing SEO? Should I have a website? Should I be blogging? We're going to talk about those things on Tuesday nights at gainmindshare.com. So everything that we're going to be talking about in that course, and generally even in these workshops, they're going to be universal, right? These are going to be the things that are going to work in any market, in any what people call niche, selling any product, any service, physical or digital. So it really doesn't matter what you're selling. It doesn't really matter what you're offering. It really doesn't matter if you're not even selling yet. What we're going to be talking about tonight and what we talk about here in general, we tend to talk about things that are fun, that are foundational. So let's talk about what leverage is, right? What do we mean by leverage? We're going to be talking about leverage can be the knowledge, right? So let's say that you've got something that other people don't. And it doesn't have to necessarily be your profession. It could be something that you have studied. It could be something that you do every day. It could be something that you have kind of come across over time. It could be something that you learn from your family. It's knowledge that you have, but it's knowledge that not everybody else has. You can leverage that knowledge. You can help other people learn that knowledge and can use it so that, again, you benefit from the knowledge that you have. That leverage, you can leverage your skill, right? Some people have a skill. Some people can do things with their hands. Some people can do things with their brains. Some people can do things with, all the things that they know and understand how to do, and they can share those things with other people in such a way that it matters, and they want to learn from them. You might just have an idea, and you've seen that. You've probably seen that online, and this is kind of what makes the news. Someone comes up with an idea, they implement it, they build a website, they get people to come to it, and then they make a gazillion dollars. I mean, that happens. And sometimes you have an idea, maybe don't make a gazillion dollars, but there are people willing to pay you to understand what that idea is, your experience, right? Sometimes you have experience over the course of, let's say, sometimes it's 2 years, 5 years, 7 years. There's a specific set of experiences that you've had that you can share with people, and you can really help people, and they're willing to pay you, and they're willing to they're willing to go with you in that experience so that you can help them. Your education, right? Sometimes you have a specialized version of your education, and we see that. Maybe you have a profession, right? So like accounting or the law or something, and you have this level of education, and you can use that education in order to help people, and you can leverage that education every single day. We're going to talk about what that means, your vocation. Sometimes you have done something in a job, or you do something every day, and that job helps you to help other people in your vocation or help other people outside of your vocation. So you can leverage that knowledge that you have from your vocation. Sometimes you just have an epiphany. It's not an idea, you have been, you just kind of come to an understanding. You see something differently all of a sudden, and then it really matters, and you can help other people to have that same understanding, to help them through the same problem that you overcame through your epiphany. And sometimes it's just an obsession. And we're going to talk about that here tonight. Sometimes it's just something that you are just really so incredibly obsessed and passionate about that you delve into it and you understand it. And believe it or not, some people would rather work with you on something that is something that you're passionate about. Some people will join you on the journey, and Laura's going to talk a little bit about that tonight. That if you share your journey with people, they're willing to come along with you, and sharing that obsession, sharing that passion, sharing that journey with people allows you to leverage that same thing that you're doing every day, in what you're doing. And basically, what leverage is, it's a way for you to help somebody that doesn't know what you know. right? That's basically what leverage is. And we're going to be talking about how you can do that and how it really matters. Now, in terms of your idea, there's a gentleman named Ryan Holiday. He sells a book called Perennial Seller. And the idea in his book was talk about things that are timeless. And so he took that idea and he's showing other people to talk about timeless things, to create timeless works of art so that again, they can then help themselves in whatever in their business, in their publishing. And so he's taken that one simple idea and he has transformed his own publishing, helping other people to transform their publishing. We have an idea where we talk about building out a video learning center. We're helping some of our PLR customers, in order to do that. In terms of experience, you've probably heard of Marie Kondo. She undertook her experience of helping people to organize, right? And she helps other people to do the very same thing. Some people understand accounting and they will take that same understanding of accounting. We've taken it and we've actually helped people to create products in those areas. You might have education. You might have heard of the late Dr. Thomas Stanley. He wrote a book called The Millionaire Next Door. And basically, Thomas Stanley was, he was a marketing professor and he was trying to help his students to get better jobs. He was trying to help his students to become better equipped in the world. And so he did that in a way. And so he began to study how people generated wealth. And so and so this study of how people generated wealth became what he became known for. His profession was that of a professor. But what he really became known for was The Millionaire Next Door. How can you get wealthy in one generation? And it's less about the book that he wrote, but it's the idea that he took something that he was a specialist in. We were a specialist in instructional technology. We recorded videos. We now record videos and we teach adults. And you can also do this with your obsession. Now, again, I wanted Laurel to kind of talk about this a little more because she actually has seen this and can really kind of speak to what it means to have an obsession and to take that same obsession, people who do things like quilting or do things like, she came across someone who started talking about green smoothies, whatever the case is. Laurel, can you kind of have a handle on that? Can you speak to that a little bit?
Hi, okay, I am talking about an obsession, having an obsession and making a business out of it, or a passion. Is that
Yeah,
what you're asking me to
yeah,
talk about?
yep.
Well, I think one of the first ones I did was when I investigated couponing. It's been about 9-10 years since I did that, but it was an obsession to figure out how people were using couponing to get things at really extraordinary prices. And when I discovered that, I kind of was able to make it a brand of sorts. I began to film YouTube videos and create information products about how to coupon and how to do successfully to be able to get the things that you needed for very little money. And so taking that passion, and well, you called it an obsession, was something that I did and was able to turn it into a business of sorts.
Yeah, and so it's really if you think about there's something in your world that you know or that you experience or that you do or something that you're just really into that you help people to understand what it is that you know about that. All of these things are things that you can leverage. Sometimes it can turn into a business, and other times it can just turn into a way to help people where they're willing to compensate you, they're willing to pay you. And we'll get into some of those ways, as we go out about tonight. But think about some of those things in your world that you do that you really like helping people and sharing with people. And all of that sharing is your time, and you can value that time and have people pay you for that time. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about about us and how we came into this and how we came to understand some of this. In 2009, we were left with a decision. Um, And that decision was, our full-time employer kind of came to us and they said, listen, um, we want you to spend more time doing the job than you're doing right now. I mean, we were doing the job, but the way we were doing the job and the way that we had done it all of the years allowed us to homeschool our kids. And so basically what they wanted was they wanted more of us. And that really would have required us to leave our children unsupervised for about 8 to 9 hours, a day. Laurel, is that accurate? If we had done what we were asking people to do, what we were asked to do, we would have had to leave them unsupervised. Am I remembering that right?
Yes, that's accurate.
Yeah. And so basically what we had to do then was we had to say, do we stay or do we go? And so we chose to leave at that point. And at that point, not too many. Not there. I say it's not too. There are not too many jobs out there for ex-house parents, and that's where we were in 2009. And so as a result of that, we really did not want to stop homeschooling. And so the idea of us going to the workplace, we could have done it, but it wasn't something that we wanted to do. And it wasn't something that was going to be easy to do because we'd spent 13 years being house parents and there just was not a lot of opportunity for us. And so basically, what we had to do at that point, at 2009, having left work full time, was we had to make the most of what we had at that point. And so we have this corporate experience, right? From where, before we went to work at the boarding school, we had professional experience, right? We also had experience as house schoolers and homes and house parents and homeschoolers. We have this experience as online instructors. And Laurel talked about the fact that she'd done extreme couponing. And we also have this educational experience. And so basically, at that point in time, we were able to take the educational experience we had and we started doing step-by-step video instruction. And that was really what we leveraged in order to basically start doing something that took our, for lack of a better word, our income from zero to where it is at this point. Okay, let's see. So that's my Skype phone. I'm gonna have to shut this off for a second. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. Okay, and so here's the thing. And sorry about the interruption. That's some of the things that happen. Those are the things that happen when you do this. Um, Everything that you do, when you start out trying to leverage your expertise, it's going to look more like a trade than it is going to be a business in order to start. And I think, when you start out trying to look to, well, I have this skill or I have this education. And so there's work involved that make it look like a trade. And so there are things that you just have to learn to overcome in order to do it. And so basically what we're going to be doing in these workshops is I'm going to help you with the trade part. Laurel and I are going to help you to overcome those technical difficulties and the getting started part so that you can walk through the process of building out what it is that you can teach people to do. You probably know the information and you understand what it is that you know. What you may not know is how to structure it. Sometimes it's as simple as building a YouTube channel, but other times it takes other parts to the process, and we can help you with those processes because that is what we've done for the last 11 years. And really, everybody's got to leverage their expertise. Um, If you're a business or an organization, you've got to find new markets. You've got to find new customers. You've got to build trust, and you've got to establish that trust in order to get a first purchase. That's what you do as a business. And then you've got to start that cycle all over again. And so every purchase and every sale really takes time in order for you to get that sale. It takes resources in order for you to create, package, and deliver that sale. And all of that, you've got a finite amount of that energy and information that you're able to give people. And so this is where leverage really matters. Leverage is you take the knowledge that you have and you create something one time. Once you create it, all you've got to do is do it one time, and you value that information and you deliver that information. And so basically, whatever you're doing with your time, once you create the information and you put it in a form where you can deliver it, what it does is it allows you to continue to use your time, but that leverage that you provide people allows you to sell your expertise while you're still providing, while you're still doing your service, while you're still doing your business. And that's why it's leveraging your expertise. And it's really the secret to any profitable enterprise. It's the secret to anything that you can do, to being able to continue to do your business, to continue to coach people, to continue to sell what you're selling, but to also give people the opportunity to buy your information, to buy your knowledge, to buy your expertise. And it is a necessity, because it is one of the things that you can do in order to take what you're doing now, and even if it's not profitable right now, you can take a coaching program where you are generating a certain level of income because you're dependent on students, and those students, you've only got a certain amount of time you can give to those students. You can take that same time and you can also be selling something that you have generated and put together that is packaged that people are willing to get from you. Now, for example, we talked about a business that sells coaching services, and that person can only sell so many hours of their time. But there are a lot of more ways that you can also sell that same time so that you can give those same people access to that time. Of course, what you can do is raise your price. In other words, you can sell people a higher value, or you can say that you can sell a premium level of that time. And that's what most people are going to do. But you can also sell books in a physical or digital form. You can also sell courses, right? Digital and otherwise. You can also sell certifications. And so there are all kinds of ways for you to be able to leverage that time. And so you can think of your own examples in your own world and ways you can serve somebody with the knowledge that you already have. You can turn any profitable activity into a profitable one. And so let's talk about, let's say you were this unknown book author, and how you would use leverage in order to make something that's maybe not so profitable and turn it profitable. Let's say that you're a book author, and you publish a book on Amazon Kindle, right? You're unknown, right? So you probably can't expect that people are going to know about your book. And let's say that book is going to sell for 99 cents or $1.99 or $2.99. So again, you're not going to get rich selling the book. And so that's really going to be the predicament that most people are going to find themselves in, even if they write a book, even if they're getting started, for the first time in selling information, even if they're selling their expertise, most people are going to find themselves here. So how do you use leverage in order to build out an income from being able to be that author? Okay, basically what that Amazon Kindle author is going to do is they're going to build an email list from the people that buy the book, or people that are going to be interested in the book. And then those same individuals that sign up for that email list are going to be going to that person's website. That person, once they're on that website, is going to be able to sign up for a course demonstrating the principles that they taught or they learned in the book. Let's say that the course is going to be $27 to $37. So let's say that you sold a book for 99 cents. That's not going to make you rich. But then that same person who really was interested, who really likes what you taught them, who really liked what they showed you, what you showed them, comes to your website, and you have made a course available to them, teaching them the very same things that you showed them in the book for $27 to $37. Again, those numbers are not necessarily written in stone, but they are numbers that are real. They are based on reality. They are things that are going to be happening. If you're understanding how this happens, you can also then have that same individual or a percentage of those individuals that bought the course. You can also give them templates. For in other words, here's how you're going to be able to implement the course. Some people would like to implement the course faster. And so you're going to be able to give them opportunities by giving them some of the process that's already done. We call them templates in our business, but basically it is a way for you to get the person started. They're going to be willing, if they've got the means, to pay a little bit more in order to get started faster. And you're going to give them templates. So again, understanding now that you have sold something for 99 cents, but a portion of those people have gone to your website and they say, you know what? I'd like a video course or an ebook showing me a little more about how I'm going to do this. And then a portion of those people are going to want to get started faster on the things you taught them in the course. And so they're going to want they're going to want to be able to buy the templates for 67 or 67 or something like that. There are going to be others, a percentage of those people, who are going to want to become part of a monthly membership. Why? Because they want to continue getting the same results that you got them in the book, the same results that you got them with the templates. Again, it's not going to be everybody, but some of those people are going to be willing to go with you and go into and be able and be willing to pay you on a monthly basis. Now you're going to be able to give exclusive access to some people at a higher rate. So in other words, these are people that have already proven that they like what you're teaching them. And so they're not going to be the same as as your students. These are going to be people that are going to be willing to pay you for a little higher access, a little more access to your personal time for more specific results. Now again, the numbers are at scale. So in other words, some people are going to do these at higher numbers, some people are going to do these at lower numbers. But what you have to understand is that it starts with being able to get people to see some of your information, to get those same people to read your emails, to get some of those people buying your courses. And so basically, you can do this and have an existing business. You can do this and not have an existing business. Having an existing business does not really even come into play. What matters is that you put this information in a form, the initial form, to get people to see what it is that you can teach them how to do, or you can teach them how to experience. And so here's what gets in the way. When people first understand this and they first hear this, what gets in the way tends to be what you feel like it should look like. And it doesn't have to really look like anything other than you helping people. Here's what someone told us a long time ago. Um, when you first do something like a course or a book, what you think is, well, man, I don't think anybody really wants to hear from me. I don't think anybody really wants to understand what it is that I know. But really and truly, people are not necessarily thinking about you as much as they're thinking about themselves. And so when they see your book or they see your course, what they're thinking, you know what's going through their mind? They're looking at what you said the book is about. They're looking at what you said the course is about, and they're thinking about themselves, and they're trying to figure out, will this help me? Will this help me overcome the situation I'm overcoming? Will this help me to accomplish my goals? They're not thinking about you. And so the key to some of this really is overcoming and getting out there with what you have so that somebody can look at what you have and say, you know what, I think this will help me. They're not thinking about you as much as they're thinking about, will this help me to do what it is that I have to do? Now, there's a gentleman named Kevin Kelly, and I'm going to suggest that you go to his website. It's kk.org, and it's called 1000 True Fans. And this kind of will give legs to the concept. Basically, Kevin Kelly says that creative workers need about 1,000 people to spend $100 with you every year, right? That's all you really need in order to make any of this work. 1,000 people to spend $100 with you every year. That's an average of $8 a month. And so if you can create $8 of value per month for one person, and you can do that 1,000 times, that's going to be $100,000 in the course of a year. 1,000 people is finding 3 people every day for the next 3 years, right? You can literally have a $100,000 income. Now, again, please don't think that I'm talking to you about real numbers or I'm talking to you about pie in the sky. These are real concepts and real things, and I'm not trying to sell you on buying anything right now. What I'm trying to get you to understand is the scale of the number and how doable it is, and how this is, you don't have to think about this as a, as a get rich quick scheme, because that's not what it is. Right? You're taking what it is that you know, you're making it available, and basically when you see loud voices in the, in the public space, or you go on social media, most people hear the loudest voice. But when you start doing this and you start leveraging your expertise, you don't need to be loud, you need to be consistent. If you can be consistent in what you know, and if you can be consistent in teaching what you know, and that's what we're going to be sharing with you over the course of these workshops, if you can be consistent, you don't have to be loud. If you can be consistent, you don't have to be funny. If you can be consistent, you don't have to be the center of attention. Because most of the people who come to this think, I don't have that personality. I don't want to be the center of attention. I don't want to be that person. You don't have to be that person. That's not Laurel and I. You don't have to be that person. All you've got to do is find out what it is that you know that you can help people and be consistent. We're going to be showing you how to do that in these workshops. If you can be consistent in teaching people what you know, you will find those three people over the next 3 years. It'll probably be less than that. You will learn how to create more than $8 a month. And when I say $8 of value over the course of a month, I'm being very conservative. And I'm not trying to tell you that, if you just listen to us, you're going to make $1 million online. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you don't have to look at what you see as the hype. You can be consistent teaching people what you know or what you love or what you've experienced. And if you're consistent, you will be able to be the voice that people come to. Laurel talks a lot about this in this way, that you really are going to be the voice that some people are going to resonate with, right? Some people are going to hear, let's say, the loudest voice, and they're going to flock to that voice. But other people are going to hear your voice, and they're going to like the way you say it. And they're going to hear you, and they're going to see you, and they're going to talk, they're going to see how you present things, and they're going to say, you know what? That's my guy. That's my lady. I want to be like them, or I want to listen more to them. They seem like they get me. Um, um, Laurel, can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, just the fact that there might be 10 people who are trying to teach you how to, I don't know, make potato soup, but there's one person that's going to speak to you in a way that no one else can speak to you. And so uh, sometimes I think people use this or realize this fact and get discouraged. Well, if there are already 9 other people teaching you how to make potato soup, why should I add my voice to the mix? But your voice might be the one that really resonates with some people where the other 9 didn't. So, Charles was talking about the 1,000 true fans. The goal is to find a 1,000 true fans that you resonate with, that really understand you and want to follow what you are saying and what you have to offer.
And there are 1,000 people out there. I can't, naturally, I can't guarantee that 1,000 people are going to find you and say, they're going to be willing to pay you $8 a month. I can't guarantee that. But I can say is that if you were consistent and you were yourself, and that you were genuine, and you teach people what you know, people will find you. And there are people who want to be with you, even if it's virtually, just because of the way you are, and not the way that you're trying, not that you have to be like anyone else. And so what we're going to show you over the course of however long it takes, we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis. We're going to show you and help you overcome the technical problems. We're going to help you to overcome the strategic problems. And if you follow these things, in some cases you might come to a workshop, you might think, you know what, I already know that, or that's not quite my thing. I would say come to the workshop or watch the replay, file it away, and then you are going to hear something that will hit where you are. You'll be able to take it and you'll be able to move forward with where you are. All you've got to start doing is start thinking about, well, what do I know, or what can I share, or what it is that I do that I can really start sharing with people that they don't know, right? Or they don't know as much as I do. So in other words, I'm using Kevin Kelly as a baseline. You don't have to make $100,000, and I'm not putting it up there again. Please do not think that I'm trying to tell you about getting rich quick, because I'm not, right? But a creative person who can create something out of their brain can share that with other people, and they can create the income that they need, right? Will it happen tomorrow? Probably not. Will it happen? Will it happen a year from now? I have no idea. But I can teach you, Laurel can teach you how to be consistent, how to be authentic, and how to make your voice heard, and to be in front of the people that will resonate with you. That is what we know how to do. And we will help you over the course. If you keep coming back to this workshop, we will help you. Now, every path is a custom path. So your path is not going to be like ours. Your path is not going to be like anyone else's. But there are things that if you do them consistently, you will find your person. You will find your voice. You will find the person who is willing. You will find the person who is willing to pay you the $8 of value. You will find those 3 people per day. Sometimes you might do it faster, but we will help you design the path in these weekly workshops. And that is really the idea of meeting weekly. I've been on for about 30 minutes, and quite honestly, this is really about as much as I want to talk and to teach. Typically, what we're going to be doing is showing you things on screen. We're going to be walking you through processes. We're going to be showing you things that, we have already taught people in some of the courses that we've created. So the fact that that we're doing a lot of talking, or I'm doing a lot of talking, is probably about as much as I really want to talk at all. Right? I wanted to give you an overview of what the workshops are going to be. We're going to show you on screen how to walk through these processes, what you should do, and how you should do it. And again, the key to understanding this, the key to not being overwhelmed with this, the key to understanding what it is that you can do is to understand you don't have to be loud online. You don't have to, all you have to do is be consistent. If you understand the processes that we're going to show you, if you understand the systems that we're going to show you, if you understand the frameworks we're going to show you, you can take what you're doing, you can take what you know, you can take what you love and share with people, and they're going to be willing to share right back with you. Okay, so any questions? Any questions? And please feel free to write any questions at all about anything that you have a question about. Again, this is just a general overview of what we're going to be doing on these, on these calls during the weekend. Typically, we're going to be showing you things that are going to be on the screen. As much as I really want to talk on these things. And we tend to want to go about 30 minutes, right? We don't want to keep you here all night. So the idea is to get you out of here in 30 minutes. This was a little longer than I typically want to go. I typically like to go about 30 minutes and to show you something that's going to be on screen. Any questions? Any questions? Now, if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the chat box or write them in the question box. We're happy to answer any questions that you have about anything, right? Maybe you've got an idea, you've been thinking about. Will this be an idea? Will this be a way for me to do this? Can I take my business? Okay, so so Joanna asks, will we need any kind of special equipment other than a laptop or a smartphone to do the technical things you covered? No. I think that a laptop is fine, and in many cases, a smartphone will be more than appropriate. For example, next Thursday we're going to be talking about Anchor.fm, which is a podcasting platform, and you can actually use Anchor with a mobile device. You don't even need a laptop. Most of the things we're going to be talking about will be be a laptop. You might need to have something that when you start creating videos, obviously you'll need something to record with. If you ever start creating videos, if that's what you end up doing. But we're not talking about something super expensive. My headset, the one I have right now, um, is $20, right? So nothing super expensive, nothing super technical, right? Good question, right? Any other questions? Any other questions? Did I answer your question, Joanna? Did I answer your question? Okay, yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, what we want to do is really kind of, and what we do for our own customers in our PLR businesses, I use the term PLR. I don't want to use that term. It's a with our video business is, people are selling those videos to people who are overwhelmed by technical things to do marketing. And so basically what we try to do is demystify some of this stuff and to take some of the sting out of it. And we've been doing that for a while, and that really kind of speaks to our background, because once you understand that the technical is really something that you can overcome, and once you see that you can overcome the technical, all of the barriers to being able to do this are removed. There are people who, once they see how easy it is, to put together a book on Amazon Kindle, right? They will actually go ahead and do it, right? That's one of the courses that we've done in the past on Amazon Kindle, walking people through that process where, when you see the process and it's done in front of you, more people will become authors once they see the process and how easy it really is. More people, I assume, by next week, when I show you how to use Anchor.fm, more people, I'm almost positive, will be doing their own podcast. Once we get to YouTube, more people will be doing videos once they see how incredibly easy it is to do videos. And so that's really the idea behind the workshops, is to kind of walk through some of these processes and to overcome some of these technical barriers, and then, to overcome some of these strategic barriers. Um, we talked about having someone pay you monthly, right? That might seem a little overwhelming to you, but it's not. We're going to show you how to do some of those things in this workshop. So, just a couple of things to wrap up here. You can like our page at facebook.com/extreme business makeover. And then on Saturday, I'm going to do a Q&A. And so if you're signed up, and this is not going to be kind of a weekly call, it's going to be I'm going to be training on email marketing. So if you already have a business, or you know of someone who has a business, you can share with them. I'm going to be training on email marketing. And in fact, it's one of the core principles that everybody really should understand how to do, right? Especially post-pandemic. If you're not email marketing, and you're not emailing effectively, more than likely there are customers that are willing to spend money with you that you're not in touch with, right? But again, it's something that most people don't do because, for whatever reason, they've got to overcome the strategic barrier and they've got to overcome the technical barrier. I'm going to show you how to do both of those things on Saturday, as well as take questions. So feel free to come to our Q&A on Saturday at 7 p.m. Again, and I'm going to be talking about email marketing. And then on Tuesday, Tuesday it's going to be our regular small business call. And so on Tuesday, I'm going to be talking about Google My Business. And then next Thursday, as I said, we're going to be doing Anchor podcasting, right? So Anchor podcasting next Thursday. So these Thursday workshops, if you're already signed up for this webinar, you'll get notice in your email from GoToWebinar. But if you want to get notification, if you head over to extremebusinessmakeover.com, put your name and email address in over there, you'll get notification for everything that we are doing as we do it. Okay, any other questions? Okay, any other questions on anything that we have talked about tonight? Again, this is as much as I want to talk. From now on, what we'll be doing is we're going to be doing demonstrating things to you on screen and talking to you a little bit more about strategy and talking to you a little bit more about technical things that you can overcome. So don't don't freak out. This is as much talking as what we want to do. Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, will we be able to help you structure content, ebooks, videos, and podcasts? Yes. So in next week, we're going to be talking about Anchor.fm. And so we will be talking about, not only, how to put the podcast together, but one thing that, um, is really kind of helpful to understand is, you probably don't need to create, every podcast new, right? It's because in some cases, there are ways to create podcasts so that, you might do all of the recording on one day, or you might have a video channel where you're creating a video, but it's conducive to, audio, and then we can show you how to take that same audio that you have in your video and then put that video in your podcast. So yeah, being able to structure that information, into a podcast, that is definitely one of the things we'll be talking about is, how do you put information together? How do you take information you're already creating and putting it into a podcast, so that it's on Spotify and iTunes and all those places. Yeah, definitely be talking about that. And yeah, we will definitely be getting to videos and ebooks and all those things. So yes, we will. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Right? Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you, Ann. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're gonna close out. And like I said, I did a lot of talking. Laurel did not, um, and that was mainly because this is just kind of an overview. And as I said, next week we're going to be doing a little more strategy, and you'll hear from Laurel more, and you'll hear from me less, and we'll be doing less talking. Laurel, anything you wanna wrap up on?
No, I think you did a good job. I think we're good.
Okay, everybody. Well, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you all being here. We will make the replay available to you, and give you access to, next week. And again, we'll be meeting here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are signed up now, you'll get the email automatically. Thanks very much, everybody. Have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow. Take care.
Good night.